Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike, and I'm excited to share another Divi tutorial with you. My goal here is to make learning Divi as straightforward as possible. Today we're going to see how to build a sticky bottom row and user in design. In this particular design, we have a course page, and then as we scroll through the different sections of the course, it will change at the bottom. So it'll show which section of the course we're in. So in the case now, we're in step 2. And if we scroll down all the way until we reach step 3, and so on and so on. All right. So if we go back up, you see it's step 2. And if we go back into step 1, there's step 1. So if that looks interesting to you and you like to give this a go, then just hit that like button and let's jump right in. All right. So the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to need to create a new page. So I'm just going to open up another one here. And we're going to add a page. Call this Sticky Sections Demo, and let's just use the Divi Builder. As soon as that opens up, we're just going to build from scratch. And when that opens up, we're going to just close that and then come into our settings over here. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to change the background, add in a gradient. The first color over here, I'm just going to put in 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's going to go down, and then for the second color, I want to put in black. Okay, so I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to make sure it is linear, and in the previous one I made it 158 degrees, but we just leave it at 180 for here. Okay. Let's jump and we just change a bit of the spacing. So we want to make sure that the bottom padding is 0. We don't want any changes over here because we want that bar to sit at the bottom there. Okay, once that's done, let's add in that first row. So the row we want to add in for the first one is because this 2 column one, we're going to have the title on the left and the content on the right. All right, once that opens up, I'll close that and I'll jump into the row settings. Okay, I'll give it a background. Okay. Then let's jump into the design aspects. For sizing, we want to equalize the column heights, and we want this to be centered. All right, once that's done, let's give it a bit of spacing. So top margin, we want to make that 5%. And then padding, we want to make 5%, or no, wait, padding we want to make 0. Top and bottom, but left and right we want to make 5%. Okay, there we go. Once that's done, let's go down and scroll to the border, and let's make this 10 pixels all around. So that's just giving us the nice rounded edges over there. All right, then what we want to do is we want to jump into visibility. And we want to make sure that our overflows are visible on both the vertical and horizontal. Okay, once that is done, let's go back into content and let's jump into column 1. Let's go and change a bit of the column settings in here. So the first things we want to do is we want to jump into design, spacing, and this is the 5% top and bottom that I almost put into the main one earlier. All right, so once that is done, we can save that and then jump into column 2. All right, column 2 we want to make a little bit different. If we jump into our previous design, you can see column 2 has a different background. Okay, so we want to make sure that our background, we want to add in the gradient, and our first color, we want to make, let me just get this color from the side. That one over there, and then the other color, It's quite close already, so could have just left it. Make that one over there. Okay, now this one I want to make 158. So it's a nice little bit different angle, so it's not straight on either of the sides. Okay, I also want to make sure it's a linear one. All right, once that's done, let's jump into the design. We want to go spacing. We want to give it a top padding of 5%, as well as left and right. Okay. So once that is done, we can scroll down. We hit the border, and a border, let's give it 10 pixels all around. So that's just differentiating it here from the other one. And then what we want to do is we want to go to transform, and for transform scale, we want to put here 107%. So make sure it's 107 on both sides, and then that'll push it up over the other size. Okay, so I think that's everything we need to do for the columns. Let's save that and save that. Now let's go add in a text module. So the first text module that we had, if you recall, would be this one over here. Okay, so let's add in H3 text module. That's in one. Okay, let's go and change the settings. So H3, let's make this Playfair display. Bold. Let's make it white. Let's make this 35. And then letter spacing, let's make -1. Just bring it all a bit closer. Okay. Let's save that. And then let's add in the divider. So go into the line, and we want to make sure that's white. Then we want to jump into sizing. Right, divider weight, we want to make it a bit bigger, make it 6. Width, we don't want it so wide, so let's make that 20%. Then height, we also want to make sure it's only 6. Okay, border. So border 20 all around. So just give it that nice round feeling on the sides. And I think that's it. All right, then let's add in some text into column 2. Okay, design. Let's make sure that this one is also Playfair display. Let's push this up to 16. And line height, let's push this up all the way to 2.1. Okay. But I want to change the color. So select the green here and then pull it down. Okay. So I can make that dark color like that. All right. Then what we want to do is we want to change the spacing. Spacing again, we want to make 5% all around. Wait, if I can do it correctly around. 5%, same, and 5% all around. Okay. So once that's done, is that everything? Yes. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to duplicate this row as many times as you want to be in each section. So let's just, in this case, we did 3. So 2, 3. All right, so let's just change this one over here. 2 and 3. All right, so that's all of these lesson ones done. Now what we want to do is we want to start work on our sticky row. All right, let's scroll down to the bottom and let's add one more row. So I want to add in this row over here because we're going to break it down into the 3 sections. Okay, before we jump into there, let's just go and give it a background. Okay, I'm going to go with this color. Let's see how it works out. All right, let's jump into design, go sizing. Custom gutter width, yes, move that down to 1. We want to equalize the column heights, of course, and we want to put it all to the center. Let's go down, we see spacing. And spacing, we want to give it a top margin of 5%. We want to give it a top padding of 0, and same for the bottom padding. All right, and then let's again go and give it the rounded corners. And let's give it a bit of a box shadow so that it can stand out a bit. Okay. Make sure this overflows. It's also set to visible. And then that should be it for the background and everything. Okay, so let's jump into column 2. Go to spacing, top. Let's give this 1% padding, top and bottom. And then we close that one off and go to column 3. Again, design, spacing. And this one I give 2% top and bottom. Okay, and then that sets up our columns and our row. Let's now go and start adding some text. Okay, so sometimes in Divi, this happens when you're working on the Visual Builder, is that your element is or your row is too small. So when you want to now come in and add any kind of module, it's hidden behind this. So one small workaround that you can do with this is you just add it to the one next to it. So text. And this is the step 1, right? Okay, then our background. That was the green. Yes. Okay, so let's make it that green. Uh, 58. Okay. Then you can just go in and you move to that module and you just pull it across into the place that you wanted it initially. And then there we have it. Okay, let's just go and style this text a little bit. So text, we want this to be, let's make it Montserrat. We want it to be bold. Can we do bold? Yes, we can. All right, and we want to make it white. No, we don't. We want to make it the same dark green. Okay, and we want to push up to 27. All right, that's looking pretty decent. Let's go to sizing. Sizing, we want to make width 60% and align that to the center. Then let's just go give it a little bit of spacing so that it's going to look a little bit cleaner. So padding on the top and bottom, we do 20. Let's go to text and also let's set this to the center, text alignment. All right, let's make sure that this one also has the rounded corners. Okay, and then let's give it a bit of a box shadow so that it can stand out a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's go to transform, translate, and right, we want to make it -20. Okay, and then that should push it up quite nicely. And I think that should be it for that one. So let's jump into the next one over here. And we go heading, right? So this one was intro. So let's go add in text. And we add in intro. And this is H2. Let's go hit the design, H2, all right, Montserrat, bold, hit the color, make it green, pull it down to get the dark green. All right, and then we want to hit it nice and big. Okay, 60 I think should work. All right, text alignment, we want to change here that on desktop we want it to the left, but on tablet and phone we want to center this. Okay, so that's nice in the center. And then let's make this -1 as well. Okay, I think that should be it. Just add in a bit of spacing. All right, so top and bottom, let's do the same, 5%. Okay. And that's it. Right, let's go jump into the last one. Add in a text. Okay, I'm not going to put that much text this time. Take out. Let's go design, text. Same, just make it Montserrat. Text size, let's make this 16. Next line, let's make it 1.6. Spacing, padding from the top. Let's make this 20. It's too much. 15. Okay, let's leave it at that. Then again, what we want to do is text. Where is it now? Alignment. Same thing. Want to make sure it's left. And then on this one, we make it centered. Okay. All right. So now we basically have it up built. That is the basis that we want to build from. So to make it sticky, if you've watched any of my other videos, it's quite simple. You just jump into the row settings, head over to advanced, scroll to scroll effects, and then set that to stick to bottom. Okay, we want to offset this 1 pixel. So 1 pixel means we don't want it directly sitting on the bottom. We want 1 pixel spacing. And we want to set this to the section. So it'll always scroll as long as you're in the same section. All right. Offset from surrounding sticky elements, yes. And transition, default, and sticky styles, yes. Right. Now the one thing we want to do is we want to make sure our design over here, filters, is our opacity. We shoot down to 0. And then we select our sticky, and if we start sticky, we shoot it back up to 100%. Okay. Right, so let's save that. And then what we want to do is we want to duplicate our section now. So if we go down over here, let's just change that to 4. Go down, change this one to 5. And this last one, 6. Okay, so what we would also need to do is to change this one over here to, no, I don't want to be in the row. I want to be in the module. To step 2, and that is called basics. Okay, and I think that's it. If you just do 2 like that, then that should be it. Right, let's save that and see. Right, exit Visual Builder. If we scroll there, we're in step 1, we move into step 2, and off it goes. Right, as you scroll further into the next section, it'll disappear. Right, so that's how you can easily use a row and stick it to the bottom of your screen and use it for whatever purpose it could be. As I said, this one is for a course that you can see, but you could also use it for like a frequently asked questions, or for a guide where you are using all different kinds of resources to show people on how to use whatever your product might be. So I hope this is useful for you. And if it is, do hit that like button and let me know. I'm planning to post more Divi tutorials as I learn more about Divi. So be sure to hit that subscribe button to be notified of any future videos. Your feedback is valuable, so do leave a comment below with any questions or suggestions for future videos, because I'm always open to hear what kind of videos will be of use. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.